Now, I think one of the things that we all face is you look at, maybe every day you have your to-do list. How do you guys determine what on your to-do list needs needs time right now, and how do you ensure that this time you're spending on your work is going to have the desired effect and the best return on investment? I guess the question is, are there certain things that you try to, I guess, are there certain things that you try to tackle first, or are there certain methods you have in place to determine what's going to have the best return on investment for you? I mean, sending out a tweet may take a couple seconds, and it may reach a large audience, whereas doing something more complex that'll take an hour or 2 hours doesn't have the same return. So how do you decide what is worth your time and what is not worth your time?
Well, first and foremost, I look at, does this attach to the district's goals? Because when I look at communication, it's not about my communication goals, it's about the district's goals and the overall process of what we're trying to do. So I kind of prioritize my work based on, does this further what we're doing as a district? Does it promote the things that are tied to goals? That kind of things. That's kind of the big picture. When it comes down to daily to-do lists and things that are going on, obviously there are those people that you prioritize the work that they think needs to be done. So if my superintendent is asking me to do something, I find a way to bubble that up to the top. If my school board is asking for something, we find a way to bubble that up to the top. And those are pretty obvious. I also will look at my superintendent's schedule for the day and plan my work around his work. So if it looks like I know he's going to be out at meetings in the afternoon outside of the building, then I know that's time that I'm going to have uninterrupted to focus on something that might take a longer period of time. If he's going to be in the building, he's the kind of guy that pops in and every thought he has, he shares, which I love because then I know what's going on, but I need to know that he's going to be in the building doing those things. So then I can kind of prioritize what my work is going to be based on, are those interruptions going to come, or am I going to have an extended period of time to get stuff done? So I think understanding the workflow of how people around you work and when those interruptions might come is good. So that's one thing that I do. You want to?
I try to protect the first hour of my day if possible, unless there's a meeting I'm going to that that I can't avoid. I really try not to schedule anything for that first hour, because I find when I come in and I jump right into something, my day kind of gets off course, and I don't do a good job of doing exactly what Nick said, prioritizing everything that needs to be done. So I really do try to protect that first hour. I'm not good at it. I need to tell you that. I'm not good at it. I put it in my calendar every day because I'm not giving up on the fact that one day I'm going to get that hour. But I do think that's important. And, one thing, though, is sometimes life will dictate what happens. I may have the best laid plans for my day with everything that's going to get done. And like today, our newspaper is doing a story on how gas prices are impacting schools. Well, that's changed everything, So sometimes life will dictate what you do, and I think part of it is giving ourselves a little leeway to know when you're one person, even when you're 5 people, we can't get everything done that needs to get done or everything we want to get done. I think as a group, we're very visionary people, and we have grandiose ideas, and I think for us to tackle everything would be near impossible.
Just a quick follow-up on that. Is there a way that you can break, I guess, the news to people or to a department when their work is being pushed further and further down? I run into that sometimes. Maybe a department will ask me to help out with a project, and you're supposed to help out like on a Monday, and then it gets pushed to a Tuesday, to a Wednesday, to next week. Are there ways that you handle that?
Not well. I'm sure someone else does that. Like I said, I'm not very good at that. I still go in with the idea that I'm going to try to get it all done. And I need to do a better job of that. The one thing I think we have to be careful of is when we push other people's projects down, sometimes they decide to communicate on their own. And that's not always a good situation. So I try to sometimes utilize that in who I think might need the most help, And no, I don't have a good way to break it to them. So maybe Kathy does.
I think most of you agree that most of our job is reactive. We do have that umbrella plan. In our district, we have a strategic plan, and I have a communication plan that flows from the strategic plan. And like Carla said, I always do look back in everything I do. Is this meeting our goals of the strategic plan and the communication plan? But on a day-to-day basis, that's not what's happening. And I think that just being responsive every time there is something that is unavoidable, people see that. People see that responsiveness. If we're doing our job as communicators, and if you have your superintendent's support in communication and you are so transparent, the principal who gets pushed is going to see that, well, she responded to my issue quickly. Now she's responding to somebody else's, so we're not going to get into that classroom to show off what's happening in teaching and learning in my school today. I don't know that there's an easy answer. I do think most of us are kind of, 75% of my day is probably reactive.
A lot of it is, one, knowing who